Welcome back. We're in the second installment of Realities of Discipleship. Today, parenting. In 1 Thessalonians 2:7, the Apostle Paul mentions this by saying, "But we were gentle among you, even as a nurse cherisheth her children, as a new mother cherishes her child, her baby." Parenting. Spiritually, to spiritual people. That's what Paul's talking about. Now, having 3 children myself, one of them an adult, all 3 are teenagers, at least for the next couple of months, I am learning that the process of discipleship is a lot like raising kids. It's my job to equip my children for all of life's issues and to help them become fully mature adults one day. It's critical that I be there for them. Not just there, but really there. More than present, but involved and implanted into their lives. We all have a relationship, all 3 of us, all 3 of them with me, 3 distinct relationships at that. I have to be intentional in my efforts to grow and deepen my relationship with all 3 of them. They're all 3 different. And to say, well, I treat all my kids the same. Well, it depends on what you're talking about. Do we all do the same things together? Do we all talk the same together? No, we don't. Because they're 3 distinct individuals, but they're all treated the same. Like all relationships, they may start naturally, like my children, but they need to be cultivated and deepened. None of this is easy. None of this comes natural. You have to value the relationship and work at it. If we let this slide for other things, then we have shown them that those other things are more valuable to us than they are. Surely, we don't do that with our kids, do we? Children aren't a token for us to show that we are living the normal North American life. They are the integrated formulation of our lives. They're our posterity. We are living in the same generation together. So I'm not here to make it easier or better for them. I'm here to make them better people in a world not getting better. Something I learned in athletics is that your body always goes where your head leads. Like when riding a bike, when you turn your head over your shoulder to look behind you, your body cannot help but follow and you're going to drift. As the head of my house, my wife and I are charged with the nourishing and cherishing of these young ones that are not staying young anymore. They'll be influenced by many more people than just us. And they already are being that way and have been. I want them to pay attention where their head is. Their head and thinking, and their leaders in their lives or their leader group that they're involved in. You see, the more effective those you join with, the more effective your growth will be. I want them to be in a church that is thriving and striving to be better. I want them to hang with the crowd that lifts them up and challenges their norms, not equivocates, encourages nominality and that kind of thing. I do not want them to acquiesce or fearfully retreat from this life and their responsibilities, or just hang with the norm of the crowd they're in. No. As humans, we have a tendency to associate with those that are like us. We have a safety factor in that. Parents today seem to strive for that more than anything else. They are making mini-me's, a bunch of smaller humans working their tail off to stay in their little safe bubbles. Wow. How are we ever going to grow, change, and develop like Jesus, come into the measure of the stature of the fullness of Christ, if we are in our holy huddles? Much less the ones who crave the depth of relationship but only find it in their group and no one else. They never expand their territory. What about the rest of the world that needs this bond of salvation that we have? Nope, because we're too scared to share. When we seek to associate with those who are like us, we are strengthened and reinforced in our present belief system. Whether that's good or bad, that is known as herd or group think. This can be very dangerous because it no longer challenges me to be more like Christ. Instead, it encourages me and even pressures me to conform and stay within that norm, at least the norm that they agree to together. Very little growth is possible unless the group wants to. If the group is not spirit-filled and spirit-minded, they won't. Now, back to parenting and how that fits. This is more like a gang rather than a family. A child needs to be challenged to step out of their norms. Ride that bike, catch that ball, try out for that squad, be the best you can be. Jump into the deep end this time. You can do it. You talk to the waiter yourself. Grow up, in other words. If we are not being parented, and we do not parent spiritually, then no one grows up. We need that cherishing and nourishing and gentleness that Paul mentions here in 1 Thessalonians 2:7. Another parallel in parenting is counseling. To counsel. Humanly, we are full of pride and therefore do not like to submit. Parents should be giving godly counsel. Why? Because ultimately and finally, the children will answer to God for their lives. You've probably watched the movies about the blended family that has a Navy dad and all the kids stand at attention and the other kids are like, what is this? They're up for inspection. That's what it is. We do not do that at the Jones house because none of us would pass inspection. For the believer, though, to live an examined life is the hallmark of growth. We know that we will face our judge and we don't have to look over our shoulder all the time in this life. We know we have done what pleases him, and that brings loads of confidence. So we look forward to going home and seeing him. We're not scared to show back up at the house. It's my job as a parent to instill help and encourage integrity and spiritual maturity into my kids in such a way that they want it. Not that they are just doing it for me, but that they want to be confident, productive, Spirit-led children of God. To show them that submitting our lives to God is a very humbling process, yes, but it's good for you. I want them to want to ask me, not demand that they ask me. I want them to trust my advice and listen to my counsel. The only way I know to do that is to tell them what God said, because he cannot lead them astray, and I definitely can be a distraction by accident. I want them to be comfortable asking another person for their godly advice as well, because that is expressed wisdom in itself. Proverbs says, God is the best parent, perfect. He knows what makes us tick. He stands ready to guide and counsel us. He truly does want the best for us. He cherishes and nourishes us, like Paul mentions again here in Thessalonians 2:7. I am to mirror him as best as I can to my kids and to other spiritual babes that desperately need the attention. Have you noticed how God does it though? He warns us. We don't listen, most likely not at least. He stands at the scene of our crash of life because we didn't listen. We ask him why this happened. He shows us. We blame him. He helps us up. We do it again. And all of that, the parent, God, is not a helicopter parent, nor is he aloof. He is engaging and caring and understanding and exact all the time, at the same time. This is the God I love, my Father. He corrects, points out wrong turns, and helps, but does so in love. He made the choice to love me. We made the choice to do what we did. He didn't abandon us, scold us, or say he was ashamed of us. He loved us right through it all. I wish I could be that way all the time myself. A discipler, a spiritual parent, a mentor to disciples is a person who you intentionally enter into relationship with, a personal relationship, and who can help you grow in your spiritual life like a parent does in your physical life. They are to resemble the best they know how and can their Heavenly Father. You need to submit to this, and you need to be this for others coming along. There's no better time than now to start. Next time we will look at the qualities of one who would do this. Until next time.